Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I want to welcome you to my very first Shrinky Dinks project. This project is really fun and it made me feel so nostalgic for my childhood. Why don't you come with me and find out how to make this goldfish? It's 3D. This picture is not to scale. That's how big it is. Let's get started and I'll show you how fast, fun, and easy it is to make this really cute goldfish. Hey all, so we are going to do this really cute goldfish pendant. Look at that. So anyway, here is this fishy, and this fishy is approximately 4.5 inches. This is a piece of shrink plastic that I marked off. It is an 8-inch long piece of shrink plastic, and I did that just so I could see how big I needed to be, because I have this piece that was an 8-inch piece of shrink plastic, and it shrunk down from 8 inches. The 8 inches shrunk down to 3.5 inches. See, look at that. But now I know if I want something that ends up being a 3.5 inch long piece, it has to be 8 inches long to make that happen. That's a little bit more math than I'm really interested in doing, but I shared it anyway. I am using the Shrinky Dinks Rough and Ready plastic right here. Comes in a 10-pack and it's about $8. I got it on Amazon. I'll have a link down below for the Rough and Ready Creative Pack. I am not being sponsored by them. I am not being asked to do this video. This is just because I have the products and I want to play with the Shrinky Dinks. So I have a scrap piece right here. You'll see there's a shiny side and there's a dull side. You want the dull side up so that you can draw. Now this fish pattern is available on my website. The link is up there right now. And what I'm going to do, I am taking a Crayola color pencil and I'm going to do a quick outline. Now this outline, by doing it with the Crayola pencil, I'll be able to see it, but it's not a hard cartoony outline like doing a black pen would be. Now, this tail goes up. It has a split in the middle of it here. You see? So this is going to be my cutting line. And by doing it this way, like I said, with the same type of color that I'm going to be using, I don't have to worry about outlines or the little bits of black pen showing up. But I just want to get the whole thing outlined. And his face looks kind of funny, but that's because he is going to be folded in half right along his back. And there will be a little bit of black on here, and that will be in his eyes. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to draw just a few indications of those little extra lines. I am going to use my Inktense pencils to put in some of the fishiness, the colors for this fish. And doing it that way, I'll be able to have the colors sort of washed on and you won't see pencil lines as much. That's why I'm putting these pencil lines more in the shadow areas, in those creases, and on the outline. I don't really need to do that. I am going to color this dot. This dot right here is really important. It is the place where you will put an eye pin or a piece of wire bent over into a loop. so that you can hang your fishy. Otherwise, you'll have to glue something to the top and it will never be as strong. This goes all the way through the fishy and out the top, just like that. So now that I have my basic coloring done, I do want to give him a little bit of some white out here in the tail. Now, white, I will always grab my Prismacolor. And that's just because the white on Crayola works really well as a blender, but it doesn't show up as well. Now, it might show up some on here because your colors get much more vibrant as they shrink. There we go, just out here on the very edges of all of his little fins. And you notice I'm not being really careful and particular here. And I want a bit of white on his forehead. Knowing that this is getting wrapped over, I want to make sure that it's really there, and maybe coming down his back just a little bit. I didn't put a fin in on his back because it would have to be laid over, and I didn't think that would be that much fun. So now I am grabbing the Tangerine Inktense pencil, and I am going to just put in some scribbles of this color. Just here and there, because I have a water brush and I am going to use it, kind of bring that up and blush along his cheeks. I'm going to use the water brush to move the color around, so it doesn't have to be a perfect coloring job. And I'm putting some of that color out here on the fins. Again, not a perfect coloring job, just throwing it down. And then I am also going to put some of this sun yellow on here. And I think that's actually going to kiss up along his back a bit. The neat thing about the Inktense colors is that you can wet them once. And if you wet them once, they will actually turn to ink. And they will flow, and they will move. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab the ink brush or the water brush, and I'm going to wet. And look at how vibrant that is already. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to zoom in, and then we're going to focus. There we go. And wherever the Crayola pencil was, that's just going to be pencil. And it will act almost like a resist in some ways. It won't dissolve from the water. Move that color. See, I can put color in places where I didn't have color before. And you can see where I'm working it up here. Working it around. In places where that white was, this color is going to be less vibrant. And then, we're going to go out here onto his fins. And I'm just moving the color along. I'm not taking it all the way out to the very edge. I don't have to. And if I go over the edge, that's okay too, because this is getting cut out. So we don't have to worry. Oh, there we are. Don't have to worry, see? I can go all the way outside the edges. I'll just do that. Just sort of kiss some of that color along. There we are. I just want to make sure that I've activated all of the ink tints. Now, I do have to get his little eyes on. And I am going to grab just a micron straw on this, just fine. And I'm giving him a little eyeball, giving him a little eyeball. And he's getting some freckles, little freckles. And I actually like having this part of his mouth colored in black. He's going to get his little fins, or his little gills outline, and then some of his scales. Now, all of this coloring is being done on the part that's going to get folded to the inside. So, you know, don't worry about it like rubbing off or anything like that. So look, that's without the template underneath. We've got a whole fish. So we can actually see it well enough to cut him out. Now, I've got really big scissors. You don't have to have really big scissors. You can use little scissors. You don't have to cut exactly on the lines because the shrink film will actually be very transparent. Now, you might want to round off little corners. Hope I'm not going too far out. And you might want to shift and come in from different directions, just so that you don't end up with a lot of tension on the film. It can be a little bit brittle, and it can tear. So you want to be aware, I think is really, you don't have to be too careful. See, I'm just sort of wandering along there. Now this is going to go up into the middle there, between the fins, to split this back tail. So I am actually going to cut up, and then I'm going to cut up from the other fin, and then I'll come across. And yeah, I just cut into that. It's not going to matter once it's all shrunk down. I just need to be careful as I'm cutting. You know, you can do all kinds of things. I'm thinking, if anybody wants, I will do some butterflies. Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know when new videos go up, make sure that you're subscribed and that you click the bell so that you'll be notified when new videos go up. Because YouTube is an interesting place, and sometimes they'll let you know on your main feed, you know, watch now or recommended, but they won't always recommend the video that I just put up, because you might have a whole bunch of different people you subscribe to. So there we go for that. Now, the place where I put that little hole, or where I put the little mark for the hole, I need to come in at an angle. There we go. Sometimes you just have to work it a little bit to figure out the angle. And this is a small hole punch. This one is an 1/8 inch. Your standard hole punch is a 1/4 inch. So let's see if you can see the size of the pin there. This is half the size of that one. So now we have it all colored and cut. So what I have here is just a piece of cardboard that I wrapped with some foil. You want to have a surface that will reflect the heat back up, but will also not transfer and burn your surface underneath. Don't do this on top of freezer paper. Freezer paper, the plastic comes off and it will leave residue on your shrink plastic. And I know this from experience because I did it on top of a piece of shrink paper I did it on top of a piece of freezer paper, and indeed it was not pretty. Now, this is going to take a couple minutes to shrink all the way. And I have a skewer here. I'm going to use that to kind of hold this down as it is shrinking. You have to work really fast, and it is hot, and it's very difficult to wear gloves while you're doing it. So, do this at your own risk and at your own comfort level. So here we go. And this is a lot of fun to watch happen. So I'm going to try and keep my heat gun not aimed your direction. There he goes. Now he's going to curl, and it's going to be scary, and you're going to think, oh no, what's going on? It's okay. It's okay. And you're going to think, oh, it's never going to lay down flat. It's curling. It's doing all of these weird things. But look how it's shrinking. It really is doing its shrinking thing. Now I am shrinking it with the shiny side down. The colored on side is up. And it has not shrunk all the way yet. But I'm going to be folding it with this side. The colored side will be the inside. Yep, we're still shrinking. And we need it to be really, really hot. So that we can fold him. Okay. So I'm hoping that I've got it hot enough. I'm going to pick up, folding his body over, folding this over. And if it doesn't quite go the way you want it the first time, see, he's a little bit chubby, and his fins are like almost exactly the same. So I'm going to lay it down here, and I'm going to warm him up a little bit more, because you can do that. You can soften the plastic again. It's not going to shrink anymore, but it is going to soften, and I want to soften him so that I can flatten his body just a little bit. And then I want his little so there. Now we've got his fins. This one is, oh, sweet. I like that. There. Look at that. It looks like he's twirling. Now, I do want to warm this up here and just pinch that just a little bit. I need to leave a little bit of an access point right here to put the head pin through. But other than that, we are so close. Oops, move that back over here. I just sort of want to heat the front half of him. I don't want to heat his back fins now. And so by holding it with the stick, I can sort of guide the heat tool towards the front. All right, so now he's opening up, so that means that he can actually be closed down. And I can twist some of his other little fins. All right, look at that. And there we are. We have a beautiful little Shrink It goldfish in real time being colored, cut, and shrunk and ready to put onto a pendant. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. Make sure that you've clicked that bell. And leave me a comment. Let me know. Do you want to do some butterflies or dragonflies? Any of the insects would be beautiful done this way. So let me know. I'm going to be doing them anyway. So if you want the videos, I'll post the videos, but I'm going to do them anyway. Thank you so much. And as always, go out, do something creative, take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here again really soon. Bye-bye.